Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's M.B.I.C. Back at it. So I'm in my hotel room. I'm about to leave. Checkout time is at 11 o'clock. But I had to just get this out because it's very, very, very important. It's going to be kind of a rant. This one's going to be short, so I'm going to do a part two. Um, I know it's cold outside, but I wore this shirt because it's fitting as to what I'm talking about. So I know it's backwards, so I'm going to read it out to you. So it says, "My level of sarcasm is based on your level of stupidity." What does that mean? That means that there's a lot of stupid people out here that say stupid things. Well, not stupid people, but people that say stupid things. And it's like the mentality of people nowadays is just they just don't think. They do things and they just do things because they want what they want and they don't care about the results or anything like that. That's a problem. Me, anybody knows me, they know I'm a sarcastic person. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say something very sarcastic. And you may or may not get it, but it doesn't matter because I'm just not going to deal with it. But in any case, I want people to understand mindset. What is mindset? Mindset is something that can be identified by psychology. So, in order to understand why people do the things that they do, when you see them on social media, when you see them outside doing all this ridiculous stuff, and on TV and everything, and you have to understand where it comes from. It's a psychology, right? Mentally, physically, socially. This is how it's expressed, right? So the human behavior is based off of social sciences, which includes psychology, sociology, um, economics, and anthropology. So that's all the basic stuff that's how we survive. This is what we are bred on, right? So I want you to know something, right? 90% of the population can be classified into four basic personalities: optimistic, pessimistic, trusting, and envious. So if you know this, when you know the people that you're around, you'll be able to gauge them. That's how why they say human. That's why they say people or humans are predictable. Because if you know the person and you know these basic principles and you know what I just told you, you can pretty much predict or manipulate a situation the way that you want to go. Because so that's what's happening with us right now. Social media, all of this stuff, we are being dumbed down. We are being um, programmed to do specific things, which is bad, really bad. Now, we pretty much, I mean, you look at society, the youth, right? Generation X, and a lot of people can agree that they're pretty bad. But even in whatever they do, a lot of the stuff is bad. But it's not their fault. I'm not blaming them. I can't blame them because you can't blame somebody that doesn't know. How do you do that? They have to have guidance. And that's whether it's in the household, whether it's in music or the workplace or whatever. It has to be they have to have you have to be taught to do something. So you can, when things are messed up and screwed up, you can't blame them. How you gonna blame them, right? So I'm gonna give you some examples. I'm gonna be really quick about it. Um, Music industry. There was this guy, this young guy. His name was Juice World, right? Now I didn't know too much about him. I said, about heard the name 50 million times, but I didn't know who he was. But then I'm listening to his lyrics, and he's talking about death. The young man is like 20 something years old. But then he predicted his death. He died. He said he was worried about dying, and he actually did die. So here's the thing: when somebody that is young as he is talking about death in his music, that's pretty much a wake up call. I mean, that's a call for help. You know, if you don't pick that up, can't blame the youth. Um, we have a lot going on right now. There's a lot of information out there, a wealth of information out there that we can use to not make mistakes. History repeats itself. If it's not corrected, if it's not fixed, if you know something happened in history, I mean, if you're an entertainer and you know what happened to Prince and Michael Jackson, why are you following in their footsteps? Why? Why would you do that? Look at all the stuff that's happening, all these artists that are repeating themselves, all these different people. There's a reason for it, right? A reason. We have to understand a mindset. What is a mindset, right? We talk about it from a, a poor person, and not speaking. I'm saying if you don't make a certain amount of money, you're categorized as poor. Okay, so from a poor person's perspective, right? That's not rich, not on television 24/7, don't have social media following or whatever, right? You look at it from their perspective. Rich, poor, right? Why are people rich? Why are people poor? Rich people understand how poor people think. Poor people just don't understand how rich people think. There's a difference. That's the scenario. That's the basic difference between rich and poor. See, poor people want to be like rich people, but they don't understand the dynamics of what it takes to be rich. You don't understand the structure about you don't understand the structure of being rich, because you're working a job. So how could you understand? Oh, I'm self-employed. Okay, well, self-employed is owning your job. That's what self-employed means. You are owning your job, meaning that you have to go to work in order to get paid. Even if you are self-employed, you still got to work. Now, if you are a business owner or an investor, a business creates a system so that you don't have to be there. You have a system. Once the system is running on a structure, you don't have to be there. You get paid. Investors are the same thing. They invest in the system, so that's how they make money. This is the difference between rich and poor. Mindset, right? That's what it is. You have to understand that. And then there's wealthy. What's the difference between being rich and wealthy? Being rich, most people that are rich usually become poor because they don't know why they're rich. They just did something and became financially good, but they still don't have a structure to them. That's why you see all these rappers, you see all these other people losing their money because they're doing the same thing. You have to evolve. When you get to a certain level in life, you have to evolve. This is finances, I'm telling you right now. You have to evolve. You can't stay at the same level. Because what happens if you stay at the same level and you intermingle with those people at the level that you were before you moved up, you are going to be stagnant. Don't want to be stagnant, right? Don't want that. You know what happens when you're stagnant? You end up losing money. Don't want to do that. When you're wealthy, you understand how about resources. You understand about structure. You're knowledgeable. See, you have a wealth of information. That's what makes you wealthy, because these resources are the the tools that you need in order to get the certain fruits of your labor, right? So, last thing, if you understand what I just told you about being wealthy and you understand about how things work, you cannot be manipulated. People are manipulated because you don't understand what's going on. And the people know psychology. So if they know psychology and they know how psychology works, what I just explained to you, you're going to be manipulated. You're going to be complaining. There are tools. If you're complaining about racism, if you're complaining about Europeans, if you're complaining about all these different things and you're not understanding that we have information at our fingertips and you can do your own research, you're not going to make it. I'm just saying. You have to understand what protection is. You have to understand how we have to live. What's living? Living is not just going to fancy hotels and doing specific things. You have to understand living is more about gaining resources and understanding how things work as opposed to having an abundance of money. Now, don't get me wrong, you need finances, but resources to the finances is what keeps you stable. I spoke a little lot longer than I wanted to, but there's still more stuff that I have to give out. So, like I told you, I'm tired. I gotta check out. I gotta go. I got things to do, but I still like to engage with you guys. So I hope this information was plentiful, and I hope you guys are thinking about what I'm saying. Today's a serious day. Usually, I would be fun and games, but today's serious, and I'll tell you why it's serious when I come back in part two. But now I gotta go. I'm tired. I gotta get something to eat. Gotta walk my dog, and I gotta check out. So, peace.